Okay, we are live. All right, welcome everybody. Let's all say hi. How do you want to unmute everyone?
Let's do it. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
That was on mute.
Hello, everybody. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unmutable. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Okay, let's unmute Ari so we can have a lesson today. Hi, Ari.
Hello, Heidi. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to make some comics today. This is one of my favorite days. Ooh, yeah, Ray and Jada, you guys are excited making comics. All right. Okay, so welcome everyone who's calling in from all around the country and all around the world even. Welcome, guys. I'm so excited that you're here. Today I'm going to walk you guys through how to make a comic. But first, we're going to announce our winners from homework. So the first winner is Luca. I love seeing your dragon, and I love seeing your little story. Our dragon is burning a hole in the side of the tree's head. And he's also burning a hole in his trunk of the tree. But luckily, there's a pond for him to fall into. But I love your drawing and really great shapes. I know you can draw a dragon out of your head, so that's awesome.
Oh, Ari, I think I need to interrupt you. I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Oops.
Sorry.
Share my screen.
Yeah, we're just missing out on that art. Sorry about that.
Oh, yes. Thank you. All right. We are sharing our screen now. Can you guys see it? All right. Awesome. Okay. So first winner is Luca. And second winner is Jen Jenks' son. Awesome character. His name is Bendy. So both of you guys win a mixed picture book signed by me. And so I'll make a little drawing for you. And our first iPad winner is Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, if this is your email, we left out the end because we want to protect your privacy. But just email us your address, arree@arree.com, and we will send you an iPad, the brand new one, the latest one, and an Apple Pencil. And you can download Procreate, which I use. And I just recently found the Photoshop version for the iPad. It's pretty good, so I like it a lot. So just email us there. And let's get started. So we have a lot to cover. Real quick, does everyone have Post-its? I want you guys to get Post-its. So go and get Post-its if you don't, okay? Go get Post-its if you don't. Index cards or just lots of paper is fine too if you don't have Post-its at all, okay? So I'm gonna give everyone a minute just to do that. And then give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's talk about story. One of my favorite comics is called Peanuts. And I love Peanuts because it's so funny. So let's read this comic together. I need one volunteer to help me read this comic. Raise your hand if you want to help me read this comic. Ooh, lots of volunteers. Oh, you're on.
I muted myself. Okay, here, that's what I do. Let's go to Scarlett. Hi, Scarlett.
Hi, Scarlett. So what's happening in that first frame?
So Linus is playing with a truck and Snoopy is watching him from the tree.
Yeah, and then what happens on the second frame?
Linus feels like somebody's watching him and Snoopy's still staring at him.
Yeah, and then how does that make Linus feel?
He's like, what?
I know. Does anybody ever do that to you? They're like staring at you?
Sometimes.
Okay, then what does Linus do next?
He goes inside.
Yeah, and what does he say?
He says, I suppose if I told you there's a vulture outside that's bothering me, you would say I was crazy, wouldn't you? And Lucy says, yes, I would.
And then what does Linus do then after that?
He goes back outside and Snoopy still is staring at him.
And then what's he decide to do?
Then he shakes the tree. And Snoopy's all Disney. dizzy.
Yeah. And then how do we end the story?
Then Lucy says, "What happened to your vulture?" And Linus says, "He's not bothering me anymore. He got true sick."
It's pretty funny, huh?
Hmm.
Okay, so as we kind of talked about on Monday, a story has three parts: a beginning, a middle, and end. And comics are just like mini stories put into panels and frames. So in the beginning questions, the same questions that we actually went through in the beginning, we're going to use those to draw to ask the question. So we're just reviewing this as kind of a story review, so that way that you can imagine your own stories. So beginning questions, who are the characters? So Scarlett, who are the characters here?
Linus and Snoopy
Yeah, where do they live, or what's the environment?
outside.
Yeah, outside, and he's playing with this truck, right? So you can just do all of that in one picture. And what is the problem?
Snoopy's staring at him.
Right. So you see here in the comic, we're really efficient. There's two pictures. We're just doing all that in two pictures, right, Scarlett?
Hmm.
Awesome. So let's now move into the middle. So our middle questions are, Scarlett, do you want to read the middle questions?
What happens next? He
Yep.
goes inside.
Yep.
Then how does the problem get worse? He goes back outside and Snoopy's still staring at him. Then
Actually,
what
for the middle one, how does the problem get worse? What happens in that middle frame?
Lucy says that he would be crazy.
Yeah. So does he want to be crazy?
No.
So he has to do something now, right? Otherwise, he's going to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which leads us to the end. Does he want to be crazy? So he chooses to do what? Or
He
how does
chooses to shake the tree
Yeah.
to make him dizzy.
Yeah.
And then, so Snoopy's all dizzy, so he doesn't stare at Linus anymore. So he
Yeah.
goes back inside.
Yeah. And how do we as readers feel at the end?
Happy.
Yeah. It's funny, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that's what's amazing with a comic is you can do all of this in basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, only 11 drawings. So it's a lot of story in just 11 drawings.
Mhm.
Yeah. Scarlett, do you have any questions like about how to structure that beginning, middle, end?
Not really.
Okay. Awesome job. Let's look at one more example. So just to kind of go through all the different parts of a story, right, is we talked about in the beginning, you want to establish the character, you want to hook the audience. So usually you hook the audience with the problem, the thing that's happening, right? And usually as readers, if we have a problem that we see, we actually want to know what's going to happen. So you want to define that problem. You can have the inciting incident. So this all can happen in just one image. That first image, you saw Snoopy staring at Linus right away. So we actually did 1 through 4, establish the characters, hook the audience, define the problem, and inciting incidents, all in just that one image. Sometimes you need 2 images, but you can just do it in 1 or 2. And then you want to escalate the problem or make the problem worse. And then at the end, you want to resolve the problem and have a satisfying ending, or you want to make the readers feel happy and funny. Okay, so I need one more volunteer to help me read this Garfield comic.
Ooh, let's go to Sahishnu.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
So,
Shishi. You
so
want to help me read the comic?
yeah. So
Okay.
at the beginning, Garfield says, "Good news, Odie."
Yeah.
And then in the next frame, he says, "I found your missing bone." And then Odie's like, "Oh, he found my bone." But then Garfield says, "But I lost it again." And then he's like, "Oh." But then Garfield says, "But I found it again." And he's happy again. Then it ran away and joined the circus, and then he was like shocked, but it got homesick and came back. And then at the end, he blames it on the on John and says, "And John threw it away." And then Odie slaps his head.
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
Why'd you throw it away?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So this is a pretty funny comic, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you help me analyze it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are so let's analyze these 3 questions.
Okay. The characters are John, Odie, and Garfield.
Yep.
And then they live at John's home.
Yep.
And then we hook the reader in the first frame.
Yeah, how do we do that?
We do that when Garfield says, "Good news, Odie," and then you see Odie a bit happy.
Yeah, so the good news, notice that Garfield's not in that first frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're even like, who's even saying that? And then we show who's saying it in the second frame. So it's all these subtle things. So just one note too is one difference between this comic and the other comic is in the other comic, the first title, we actually use that with the background. So I actually like to do that too, is I like to use the background to set the setting. This time they put the words Garfield really big, which I feel like is actually not very necessary because everyone knows Garfield already, you know? But anyway, they did that. But that can be your own choice. So when you make your own comic, you can have a background and then you can use that to help start the story. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, let's move into the middle. Oh, let's actually, one more question. So what is the problem here?
The problem is that Garfield says he finds Odie's bone, but then he says he doesn't find it.
Right. So the problem is kind of, it's a little bit tricky. So the problem might seem like, I found your missing bone. But the problem really is that he's...
like messing with Odie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay. And then do you remember what an inciting incident is?
Kind of.
Okay. You want to give it a try?
The inciting incident is what leads to the hook?
Almost. It's sometimes the hook and the inciting incident can be the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to take another guess?
The inciting incident is what happens before or with the hook and shows and helps the hook showed the beginning.
Yes.
What the whole story is going to be about.
Yes. So you got it. So the inciting incident has the hook. It basically captures someone's attention, and it's the event that starts the story. So it's something that happens that then starts the story. So in this case, the inciting incident is when Garfield says, "Good news, I found your missing bone." So that starts the story, and Hootie gets all excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, it's a little bit harder to find, but that's basically what it is. Okay. So what happens in the middle? Let's analyze this. How did we build the middle, or how did the creator Garfield? What's his name?
So what happens next is Garfield says, "But I lost it again." So he's saying that he lost the bone again.
Yeah.
Then the problem gets worse when he says he finds it again, but then he also says it ran away and joined to the circus.
Yeah. Great job. Yep.
And then the change that happens is that he said, but it got homesick and came back.
Yeah. So the main problem in the story again is what?
Garfield is messing with Odie's feelings.
Right. So we just keep on we just toy with his emotions more and more and more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you're thinking of when you're making your own comics, you can think about how you make that problem worse. How do you make that situation worse? And the easiest way to do that is to really think about the core emotions that's happening in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the first question is what choices are made, and that's when Odie says he really doesn't know where the bone is, so he says, and John threw it away, and then Odie slaps his head. And then the problem is solved, is practically the joke at the end, because Odie's confused, why did John throw it?
Yeah.
And then at the end we feel a bit surprised or happy or weird. Something.
Yeah. Yeah, we feel happy because it's funny, but we also feel a little weird because it's so mean.
Yeah.
Being mean is kind of funny though sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of humor comes from pain. And it's funny that John has no idea. He's like, huh? What's going on?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like, what what's happening?
what's happening?
Yeah.
Um, all right. So great job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, do you guys have your Post-it notes? Okay, awesome. So we're going to go through how to make a comic in 4 basic steps. So here's the first step. Let me minimize my screen here. Hold on a second. Okay. So here's the how to make a comic in 4 steps. So the very first step is you just want to write down your idea for a story. So it could be a small little joke. It could be something that happened in a day. And so that's the very first step. So sometimes I like to write them on little Post-its or an index card. And sometimes I like to even draw pictures. So that's step 2, is to draw pictures. If you can actually imagine that scene, the best thing to do is just to doodle that scene right away. And then step 3 is you want to then write the words, meaning what are the characters saying and what is the scene. With comics, most of the storytelling is done in the visuals and the pictures, so you don't have to write a lot of words. Then the 4th step is you put the images in order. So you want to think of the beginning, the middle, and the end. And then you just draw frames around them. So I'm going to walk you through a couple other ideas with that. But that's pretty much how you make a comic, okay? So we're going to do this exercise together. Let me give you guys 5 minutes. Actually, gosh, we only have 10 more minutes left. So let's condense this down. We give you guys 2 minutes to just write down an idea for a story, okay? Timer, 2 minutes.
Your timer is set for 2 minutes.
Okay, 5 seconds, guys. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you have an idea for your story. Give me a thumbs up. All right, everyone got their idea? Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna walk through just building some ideas for the beginning, middle, and end next, okay? We'll do this step by step. Then you guys get to finish your story for homework. Okay, so this is the next step, is what are the characters in place? And you wanna draw the problem. So the reason why we're doing Post-its is because in that first frame, just like that Snoopy one or Peanuts one, you can have the character, place, and problem, at least the start of it. And then on the second one, on your Post-it, you don't have to do a really nice drawing. You can just make a little doodle. You want to draw the problem. So we're introducing the problem right away. And so the problem should have the hook and the inciting incidents. It's the event that starts it. Okay? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this. Timer, 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes and counting.
So here are your questions for you. Who are the characters? Where do they live? Or what environment are they in? And what's the problem? Okay, 10 seconds, guys. All right, so now we're in our middle questions, okay? So get out 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 Post-its, and you can draw and write down what happens next. How does this problem get worse? How did things change? And what choices the character have. So we want to have a choice that the character has at the end, because we want the characters to solve the problem at the end. Okay? So you have 2 minutes to work on this part. Timer, 2 minutes.
Okay, your timer is set for 2 minutes.
Okay, 10 seconds, guys. Okay, let's move towards the end. So get out 3 Post-its or 3 index cards or 3 pieces of paper. And you could write down what does the character make, so they have to make a decision to solve the problem. Then you want to show the problem solved, and then if you can make the reader feel good in some kind of way. So you can make us laugh, you can make us feel happy, but we should have some kind of happy feeling at the end, okay? And then I'll take your guys' questions right after this. Timer 2 minutes.
Your timer is set for 2 minutes.
Okay, timer is up, guys. So what choices are made, how's the problem solved, and how do we feel at the end? Okay, so here's your homework. Is I want you to basically take your story. I want you to take some time to write the pictures. And then you want to write the words. You want to draw them in frames. And then you can put together your whole comic. So you can put together your whole comic on one piece of paper and take a picture of it and place it on Instagram and tag us, as well as on our Facebook group. All right, and then one person will win a free mixed book on both either Instagram or on Facebook. So Heidi, I think we actually have time for maybe 2 questions, and then we'll wrap up. So if anybody has a question, go ahead and raise your hand, and Heidi will pick on you, or select you.
And if you don't have a question, put your hand down.
Yeah. You can maybe clear all hands then.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. All right. Sorry, these controls are just a little different. Takes me a minute. Okay, so if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand.
Yeah. Awesome.
Abigail. Hi, Abigail. Oh.
Hi.
Abigail.
How can you fit a lot of words in one question?
Oh, can you say it again?
How can you fit a lot of words in one box to put the words in?
Oh, how can you put a lot of words in one box?
In one
frame, is that the question?
comic square.
Yeah. Okay, so
One comic square.
yeah, in one comic square. So if you're trying to do a comic, you want to think of how you can tell the story with the pictures. So maybe, is there a way for you to draw some of those pictures and write less words? Does that make sense? Yeah. So then you want to practice to see if you could tell that with less words. Because when people read comics, they read them very quickly. Okay? Okay.
Okay, good job, Abigail.
Heidi, let's do 2 more questions and then we'll go through prizes and as well as enrollments.
Okay. Let's go to Smith. Nope, she's gone. Okay. Gianni and Aviva, is that right? Hi, guys.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is your motivation to keep drawing?
Oh, there's so many good motivations. The first part is when I draw, it just makes me happy. Like I have fun drawing, and sometimes when I feel stressed out, do you ever feel stressed out? Like maybe you have too much homework or stuff like that. This is what I used to do all the time. I still do this once in a while. Whenever I felt stressed out, I would go to the pet store and I would draw dogs and I would draw fish. It just makes me happy. So I just like drawing. So that's probably the first reason. I just like it. It's a lot of fun. I would say the second reason is I have a lot of story ideas. I have a lot of, not just story ideas, but ideas in general. And the easiest way to show someone your idea is to draw it. So I believe that everyone should learn how to draw, even if you don't want to become an artist or a storyteller. Let's say you want to be a fashion designer, you know, or what is it you want to be, for example? You have anything that you want to be?
I want to be an explorer.
Cool. So an explorer, right? So how can we use drawing to be an explorer? Well, explorers go places, right? And they document things. So, you know, nowadays we can take lots of pictures, but what's great with drawing is it makes you stop and observe. And I like to say that drawing is understanding. So you can have a journal and then you can draw and explore those places. You can also write down all those ideas that you have and observations about where you're at. There's something very magical about a journal, and a drawing journal. And I personally would love to see your journal and the places you go and all the drawings you made. That'd be really cool. So yeah, the second thing is, in terms of why I like to draw, is because then you can show your ideas to other people in more than just words, visually too. Yeah. So, and then there's actually one last reason, is the better you get at drawing, the more fun it is. So you just want to get better and better and better. And it's not a competition amongst anybody else. It's just, except for yourself. You're like, oh, I wonder how good I can get at drawing. So it's kind of a mastery of the skill. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
All right, and Smith is dying to ask you a question. And
okay.
According to her name, I think I know what it is.
Hi, Smith.
Oh. If it's how do I unmute myself? Smith, do you want to try to unmute yourself? I can't seem to do it. Oop. Oh, where'd she go? Oh no. Oh, she's back. Okay. Smith, can I ask the question for you, the one that's written?
Yeah.
I can't seem to unmute her.
Okay.
She says that she doesn't have a story idea. She can't think of anything.
Oh, okay. So what to do if you don't have a story idea? Okay, so this is what I like to do. Actually, I do this every day in my journal. So I have a journal and I write in it every day. I just write 3 pages. I write whatever's on my mind. And whenever I write whatever's on my mind, usually I can find something there. Another thing you can do is you can write about some things that are maybe bothering you, or you can think of some problems that you might have had, you know? And they don't have to be big problems. They can be small problems, like for example, Heidi's gonna laugh because she knows this one. Uh-oh. Is when let's say someone ate your ice cream.
Oh,
hey, there's
muted. There.
Well, I had a story that had, like, it seems a little Well, my story is about like well, it has something like it has something that happens over and over again, and then finally like the middle is it will seem like longer.
Oh, are you saying the middle's longer because it happens over and over again?
Yeah, like it's so there's a hot dog across the street, and the birds want to get it, and then they keep getting hit by the car, and and there's 3 birds. They
That's
keep
a
getting
problem,
hit by the cars, and then the last bird, one guy gets hit in the front, one guy gets hit on the side, and then the last guy flies really high and over the car and gets the hot dog, and it's about to eat it, but then it wants to share it with the other guys, so he eats it, and they all come back alive again, and then there's French fries across the street now, and they want to go get that, and the story starts all over.
Oh, that's funny. I like that story. So basically, how do we solve the problem is one chicken learns how to fly to overcome the cars. And then I guess you have a second problem is how does he get his friends unflattened?
Maybe they were just injured and not dead.
Yeah, maybe they're just
That.
And then I like your end.
He solves that.
Okay, he what?
He solves that because they feed him the hot dog, and the hot dog made them alive again.
Oh, that's cool. They're like they're like chicken zombies come alive. Yeah. Okay, and then when they're on the other side, then they see French fries, and that can be part 2 for your next comic. I like it. I think you have a story idea. Okay, let's draw it. We'll see it tomorrow. Yeah.
I think she's got sequels. I think that's part of the problem. She's got sequels happening.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's share our homework. Let's go through homework again.
Oh, and when did you ever announce who won the iPad?
We did at the beginning. So here's who's the winner is Elizabeth. And by the way, if you don't have a lot of points, you can still enter. Elizabeth only had like 30 points. She got really
How do you get more points?
You share it. So you should share it with your friends. So you can share with your friends. And if your friends sign up through an email, then you get 10 points. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So you can share to win prizes. And then the last bit is, so enrollment is now open for block 3. And so in block 3, we are going to be doing painting camp. So Nini's going to actually show you guys how to teach you how to paint in 1 week. It's awesome. You're going to paint everything from cats to these beautiful scarlets to a landscape scene. And so we actually have the supply list. So actually everyone at home, if you have not bought paint or if you don't have acrylic paints at home, buy it today. So that way you'll be able to have it for Friday. And then we have animation camp. And then we have business camp. So in business camp, you guys have been learning how to make stuff for the last, 5-6 weeks. I'm going to teach you how to then offer it, make it into either a product or offer it as a service. And my goal is to actually help you to make your first dollar as an entrepreneur. And so this is what we're doing for the next 3 weeks. If you join today, you're going to save $13, and it's only $47 for 5 days a week for 3 weeks. So it's really, really affordable. We make this affordable for everyone because we want everyone to be able to join. And Creativity Camp really is to unlock your imagination and give you the confidence and the creative skills to become a creative person in the world and to be a problem solver. So to join, you just go to arree.com, arree.com/join. And if you join by Thursday at midnight, you'll save $13, which even if you don't join by Thursday, it's still really good. But join by Thursday, you'll save $13 and you can use that to buy paints with. So, Heidi, are there any last questions we should go over, or otherwise we'll end it?
Well, I'm curious about the ice cream, but I guess you can answer that on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
45 minutes. So.
That's right. So if you guys have additional questions, go to my Instagram, Arree Chung, and at 3 o'clock, I'll be answering your guys' questions. So give me a thumbs up if you guys had tons of fun today. Awesome. All right. Can't wait to see your guys' comics on social media. Heidi, you want to take us out?
Let's do it. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Get to work.
Bye, everyone.
See you tomorrow.
See you.